Mr. Wadaroma, Bemena.
You first as an income.
Oh, now it's
answer me.
Obidumbi. I chimney this year. You say, I know on this half when you didn't come on. Me humble question.
Maybe me say only Kupama never didn't come on. Okay, say Kupama say. So say Kupama.
Okay, let me rephrase it. Say. Okay, me ba. The yet say. Muko Pama ya mudini gwe ni pamwa akwa on shada nya de sa. Yes was say. Yes say or no Kupama ne say. Coach no kra tactics no. No incident no.
Okay, no problem.
And some of the players and so allegedly.
Yeah.
Yes, what I'm also say. Because you know too arrogant.
Okay.
Some is so diplomatic okotra journalists and man no can boom 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 boom. No the players at them rough.
Okay.
Usubo umobi.
Okay. Wait, and
can't speculations.
And main can't say speculations. Mr. Opa.
That's how too much.
Main can't say speculations that Nhyira, one I will see speculations, Mr.
So I'm both
me pacho, Mr. Why, uko court there, man, you know, cranny the winning case. No nim na semka. Now, what's the way you look? Now, I will see a speculation. You know, maybe so a speculation, and what carry on now. A one I will be free, and Miss Okay, Ubo for the Ubeka some more crunch, and my saying now. And what yes, when is will be no our back. But you said it. We wasn't bizarre.
Get in simple brillare.
We wasn't bizarre.
Yeah.
We mean some uncle for Cafon. Have you heard some of them?
Baby.
Have you heard some of them?
Oh, me take me tinina.
Me cray. Because I don't know because they be me. And it's awesome. No, say people no new. Baby, I will carry on. But to catch me, I was wondering. I was saying. Obi ka dey with you. Mr. Erokrada.
What's in the band today?
But that means we can ha.
What do you tell me?
It's a problem.
Like okay,
I said me. This is the paro.
Only me Jerry.
Sebi. Baby I go adeja. This is the people that hope you as well. But you got to catch him say now boss of crash. You senior na say na okay. I don't know speculation. If you don't know, you say speculation, my friend, because you say speculation.
Okay.
Then me be sorry.
But you be some question na.
I'm say, say the
the catch on no cre. Sa ni nyame bo me.
You dey bu. Well, PM no so. You need a manifest. I'm a bedroom now. Problem to see for anyways you. Hey, senior man.
So
we do as here Michia trot driver. The friend are Pietus.
All right.
Now see if you boase obefa Nkusia. And the car be say now 30 pounds boase 40-30.
Okay.
Now who say me we man say obano have a catch him so tie na the car na say na.
I see.
So obi gian we chia.
I see.
Iti enchi Pietus and obi a utie we boase. Many are dancing pattern na we are very grateful.
Sure.
Which Spanish La Liga ni mono the list of the coach of the month Abba. And this month's coach of the month, you know, 3 by Eda Sarabia, Jabi Alonso, and Hansi Dita Flick. You know when Komaka automatically we know where this is going, right?
Having a 2
for the coach of the month. No? One way.
More strong contention for coach of the month, you know. Hansi Flick.
Yeah.
And then Xabi Alonso.
Yeah. But in the month of September, August in review, Xabi Alonso has not lost on dropping 1 point car. but Anthony Taflika bought draw back against Barca. So it looks as if this one is going to go for Xabi Alonso. I want to ask you this. Any Obi Awutie, which did you ever envisage? Say you be season after 5 games, and the first 2 coach of the month on the Banana, Xabi Alonso will be rubbing shoulders with Anthony Taflika.
Never. Especially with our first game I'm here.
Yeah.
Madrid ball Oviedo, right?
Yeah.
Our first game Oviedo. And I didn't like the way our Madrid ball on ball.
Yeah.
And I was like, Xabi Alonso.
But I don't know why it's at the start now opposite Madrid no born AFNTM.
No, and you're born if per se. The Madrid are near in
Yes.
I didn't see that Madrid.
Okay.
Madrid was starting league.
Yeah.
Now players in the park and so on.
Yeah.
You could see that. Look, some sort of sense of urgency be.
Yeah.
I'll say yeah, BB because you're starting La Liga.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
But that's what they did to win the game.
Normal team.
That was what they did to win the game. In that game that you're talking about against Real Oviedo, it was a little bit difficult win for Madrid, but they got a job done.
Yeah. And I think plus the demands Xabi Alonso.
And especially
how to manage games.
Yes, and I think for me that is the best thing for Xabi. So, we usually don't give credit to some of these things but simple decisions are very important. Time about benching Vinicius Jr. Time about Vinicius Jr. Time about starting Mbappe. The role of Mastantuono and Federico Valverde, it is integral. And Carlo Ancelotti last season and all the seasons at Madrid, it was using the chaotic nature of Madrid players. No? So you see, Vini Junior, Obetina Caribou, or a direct on him, but when they didn't have the ball, it was a problem. So when Xabi Alonso came in, the job is simple. You make it so a ball here about the ball. It's hinged largely on say you need body, but you need one that you can press. And it is clear who is somebody for Libya, and now Vini Junior said it. So it's about pressing today. Yes, Omubo against Atletico Madrid. I think in October or November they are playing their first El Clasico or Santiago Bernabeu. It is not going to be the same because yes, press it, but who's your team with Barcelona? The press structure and scheme has to be perfect, and yes, you get torn apart easily. But for where the job has been done, and Xabi Alonso Juma Waire there, which he deserves to be the coach of the month or Spanish La Liga, and all the good things that is happening for Real Madrid, which for the player of the month,
and it's very obvious, Mbappe.
Which you see,
Pedro
need numbers now. Only numbers of Mbappe because I think Mbappe has about 10 goals and assists. You know, only a plus Champions League, but in the league, I think somewhere around 8 goals and assists in the opening games of the season. That is huge. Cristiano Ronaldo's highest goal scoring first few games now was Mbappe even trumps that number. So, how, as it stands now, it is clear, say he's going to kill a little Mbappe. Then, maybe Pedro Gonzalez can rival him because of how good he was. In 2 or 3 games about this season, they needed goals. I think the game against Levante, the equalizer came from bench friend Pedro Gonzalez. So he's important. And even with everything a football club Barcelona, club, he has been very important. But of course, notable mention to a bench friend Pablo Fornals of Real Betis, and a bench friend Vargas of Sevilla, and of course, a bench friend Eta Ayong. Which is this the Mbappe season? For Madrid to get to the level, first, even somebody makes the Champions League this season, they say Madrid are perennial favorite to win the Champions League. Are they that this season?
Madrid is all about Champions League.
Always
you do
top 3 Champions League. Madrid is in there.
Madrid back home. Always.
Say
sure.
That is a top 3.
Yeah.
And then the bit winning trophy. No.
Some of the bit Champions League.
Xabi Alonso experience of taking a team unbeaten until the final day of the game. No, with Leverkusen. Then he has come to take the Madrid team. And when you to him, say he is doing the simple, sensible things in the Madrid team and results neighbor. And it looks to have coincided with Abrante friend Kylian Mbappe's almost best form in recent times for himself. Plus, in Kofuefi, Vini Jr. free bench in Benya reach or almost 6 goals and assists in his first few games for Real Madrid this season. Until Vini Jr. Kana, in Kofuefi, oh, but considering maybe more or Cheng San he's still coming from the bench and he's scoring. He's influencing games. The last game that Madrid played, Mbappe had the brace, but Vini Jr. scored the opener with a Trivela. And Vini is playing, Mbappe is playing. I remember when Mbappe was about to come under Carlo Ancelotti, and they were quite a little bit worried about was how were those two players going to telepathically play together? And we ended up saying, okay, maybe there may not be any issues, but how can that give us balance? Rich. Xabi Alonso solve a balance problem and be damn a lot of teams.
I'm solving still now.
No, he's there. You're on Amquano so. And you're perfect.
Because me first, now who is a Madrid problem now I'm front three.
Yeah.
No one take it.
Yeah.
As a debut, I'm going to for one and running. Yeah. But Zabi,
yeah,
you could clearly see say I'm gonna start with the press.
Yeah. And now Oshana say
Omulusi born so always Anya Shekrano, Obo Vinicius.
Yeah.
I was the center circle of.
And even for most games, Campuno, he has not started with players of Sha Omwano. It's the last game of Moboya. He started the front three, including Gonzalo Garcia, and played Vini Jr., and then played Abrante Feno, Kylian Mbappe. The game prior, he played a top 2 and added Franco Mastantuano. And then Madrid proper top 3 are able in games all through. No. He looks as if he is Franco Mastantuano. Who is part of it? Means and debate may be a tactical border. He looks as if there's Franco Mastantuano, which Judaba.
Mastantuano in Bobo.
So Jude, it's me, Jude and Betranche.
I can't say Jude Betranche, but
Obama
match. I'm telling you, we've never shared that. Me share no FIFA Carabao Cup no.
Yeah.
But said I excited me sir. But Madrid no. Such a young boy now about Real Madrid for first season. Vini Mukra ba no mo break akra.
Is a South American aura no.
Yeah.
And he's just
no man fan no said they brand the by now.
He's just 17 years.
Charlie Mastantuano guy, super player.
Or just 17 years.
More direct.
Yeah.
More day.
But so Jude say direct. Jude is one day.
Oh, the Abrante in Bobo.
But I mean, if I'm pushing you to the
Mastantuano,
are you choosing Jude Bellingham or Mastantuano to start? Jude is fit 100%.
Eddie and Jude Bobo.
That means I say, only a fit out. Jude never started. I don't Mastantuano.
Sure.
Will Jude work as hard as Mastantuano does off the ball?
No.
It's the only the balance question in the Sambana. Because you see Mastantuano won't know Yajuma. Because Mastantuano doesn't care to work for Mbappe. Even other bullets, say Madrid bomb 4-2-3-1 and see Bono and all of those variations. Say even Obo other bullet as a tenor, other does not care to work for a friend is saying Kylian Mbappe. One thing that people have not realized, and I'll tell you here, is 10 bia Abrante Feno other bullet best start Tibiano. Mbappe is able to drift to the left for other to occupy the box. International Madrid team now consistently other bullet gets into the final box occupation, you know, to do the due job. Rich, you say coach is need to I can say, who coach are open selection dilemma and headaches now. I don't know if that is what still Abrante and Xabi Alonso wants, but this front three of Abrante and Franco Mastantuano, Vini Jr. and Abrante and Kylian Mbappe looks like it is working magic for Football Club Real Madrid this weekend. Almost against Atletico de Madrid. In a Madrid derby, the first Madrid derby of the season, and I think that's going to be the first major test. Mijitu say Ode almost compare Atletico de Madrid. Yesterday was the only second win for Atletico de Madrid of Spanish La Liga, and it was a labored 3-2 win. Which in Gofo don't know that Real Vallecano is a Madrid team. They are also in Madrid. Into the major 3 Madrid clubs, the Vallecano, Atletico de Madrid, and Real Madrid. And now Atletico for the mini Madrid derby, and in that it was a hat trick from Abrante, your friend Julian Alvarez. Rich, people say that. Say about finishing. People say Julian Alvarez is better than Haaland.
Finishing.
If you've not paid attention to it, you come back to it. That's what people are saying.
Julian Alvarez.
I would say about finishing.
Oh, you say no City.
Yeah.
No one Haaland now.
His finishing was good.
Men can't so anyade.
Yeah.
Kofi. Haaland need there. Look. He's a complete striker. Ebi abo on the ball. Julian Alvarez is born.
You can't born be a complete striker.
Just
a section of so we are striker. You have to net.
Na bobo on to
I think that is one thing that say if we can do the analysis well. I see the efficiency of a goal scoring. Minutes to goal ratio is important, and even XG to goal ratio is important.
Sure.
If we get time, we look at it. But now, Obeli out Atletico Madrid, only the second win of the season from our brand friend Julian Alvarez in that game. No, this week Madrid have been Usika. We dey say Fala Madrid.
Atletico Madrid team, but your own Kofi games be sad. Maybe I'm a tactics.
But yes,
yeah, na. I bragging right.
Tactics by me no kwa. Yeah.
Me cause I tactics.
Yeah, understand. That's a major factor.
With the derby games, you know.
Yeah.
And I rough.
Yeah.
Inti edru a players na kasa na ebo.
Yeah.
Sabe na nye 4-2-2 one yatem bia. Yep, bragging right. Inti edru I mean obi aba so ye bibi say na be pon game no na say on the winner but on the first of the pink sheet there. So will be Real Madrid their favorite.
Face on
the face of the pitch. You and I were not there.
Rich, the Spanish La Liga table is a 5 points gap between Madrid and Barcelona. And one year. So Madrid want to keep on managing games and getting the results. Now, Barca Sanso sleepy Bioma, they are going to get problems. If Barca sleeps a game, whether it is a draw, whether it is a win, it will be hard to catch them. And Abian coming Casa, if Madrid did not have an experienced manager in terms of winning the league, yes, it is not the Spanish La Liga, but it is a league where we won. Being an underdog of a sort. Now you're buying Leverkusen for manager. I was our league, when you're buying Leverkusen, you had a big boy. It is Bayern Munich. And even after Bayern Munich, it is not Leverkusen. It is Dortmund. He had kept that team together for 2 seasons and they peaked at the right time. Going and beating with managers like Thomas Tuchel in that league. And the manager in the dugout of Barcelona is a German. So if you want to read meanings, you may want to do that. Go ahead. But it's a game where Barca phone him say, BBNC, but Sanyama Nkuya, then maybe cockroaches will begin to come out from the cracks. They'll begin to ask themselves questions. And I'm going away to Real Oviedo. Inka, this is a match where Barca automatically, bookmakers say 70% for Barca to win.
I was about him, no?
I was about him, no, away. Now, and the not so good news that came was that Abranche friend Gavi Prano, it's going to be out for long. And then our players to be sending messages to see, say, okay, he is going to be fine and go and play his football. Which, Hansen Itaflexi, the style of football where he plays and almost very aggressive, no? Almost you need balls in the back, almost turning over possession, no? Whether home or away, that's how he will play. And in going away to Real Oviedo, what is in the latest data about in the Spanish La Liga, no, Oviedo for the transitional threats, no, but he will still go into that game, pressing, counter pressing, winning the ball high, and then gets the goals quicker for him. And Okoko Barca training now, almost everybody is available, except that Lamine Yamal will not play this game. Maybe over the weekend game on the ball, Lamine Yamal will get some minutes, then he can go on and go and play. Which the absence of Lamine Yamal from Barca team now, still they have been unbeaten in that run. Does it presuppose that the Barca team is near perfect? Because the star man is out and they are scoring. Ferran Torres and say the start of the season is the best that he has had in a long time. Fermin Lopez when he has to start, he's getting the goals. Robert Lewandowski was not even part of the team. Marcus Rashford, Rafinha were getting the job done. And then now, there was a big boost from Barca for the camp in the return of our branch friend Alejandro Balde.
Your orientation about football and Bonabi, me and who say, Lamine Yaman in the Barca team they can play. Maybe for the optics.
Yeah.
A job na OTT that you know, Henna, F. Or between Obama pass be F. But Barca for the catch say, even last season, say, yeah, kind of crap, and then, I mean, say, football common, you could see saying argument didn't even in film.
Yeah.
So, you could see saying argument in the bad discussions, Lima.
Yeah.
Rafinha, no, I had the chain, Lamine Yamal.
Yeah.
Because in terms of numbers,
Yeah.
say a effective result on the photo play.
Yeah.
Rafinha none numbers and was through the chain Lamine Yamal. Baby, I said they're making your orientation about the game near. Ubiji ball, between, you know, how me and Argentina. If you say he's the best player.
But we you say, now can you spot on? And as Anglophone can makes a lot of sense. But near money here, a little bit interesting, and a bit pop up in analysis, and he say, and you're Rafinha and say the most goals for Barca CC.
Sure.
And you even Robert Lewandowski say the most goals for Barca CC. The Barca team solved major problem of goalkeeping. And only Barca funding come the presence of Juan Garcia has been a lot of difference making for them. And you see, even at centre back, the last time, hasn't it afflict about Eric Garcia or Eric Garcia, not Arau, not Christensen, because Satan, not Kubasi Krepra. So he played Eric Garcia in that team. And then they went on to win. Which I have been very critical of Gerard Martin, whether at left back or right back. I think that so Barca team kakra, but in the last few games, Gerard Martin has been good. And what it is giving them is that Oshesa game now, because Gerard Martin was playing as part of these players now, Marcus Rashford on the left hand side. Then he kept the width for Gerard Martin to come inside. It worked fine. So Anthony Tafet truly has built a team. Whether you are playing at home, you are playing away from home or wherever, to beat them. And I think that, and then you may against Real Oviedo, team and friend football club Barcelona will get a job done. May I say, Rashford best start TBM, Ferran best start TBM, Rafinha best start TBM, Pedri, Dani Olmo, Frankie de Jong. There's going to be Gerardo Martin, Pau Kubasi, Eric Garcia, and Jules Koundé, and Juan Garcia. I see, which I had told you Michel Barca team. If this team was in the English Premier League, and he had a lot of analysis, centre backs, you went to me boom because of height.
Kubasi,
Eric Garcia. Are very diminutive per the average footballer height. But in the Spanish Liga, there are no problems. They play the football. Maybe because also Barca gets lost of the possession on the bottom. But this is a good team away to Real Oviedo. I mean, meaning sometimes some things can happen. On paper, it looks like Barca will win, but those things can happen. I'm beginning to get such feelings, but I don't want to entertain it. And if Barca go and get a win, I think that's what we're expecting. But if it doesn't happen, also it means that we're expecting say Real Oviedo beats Marcos, which and now the fourth round of the Carabao Cup ended, and the ending, English Premier League teams still be brave, through, and then you made it on me at the fifth round draw. Fifth round draw, no, it means that teams are canon. You're around 5. And the set of games here about Benyano, we will get 8 set of matches on them. 4 on one side, 4 on the other side for the English Premier League games now. And in that, you bring Arsenal versus Brighton and Hove Albion.
Big game.
Big game. Manchester City will go away to Swansea. Wrexham, you promote them from the lower divisions. They want to go to the championship. Against Cardiff, Chelsea will go away to the Molyneux to play against team and friend Wolverhampton Wanderers. There is going to be Chris. I don't know many G.
Oh, start you.
I don't know. So who do you know?
I'm about Brentford.
I'm about Brentford. So no man,
Mo masters, no.
Mo man, yeah, but for masters.
Masters.
I come in 1.2. Who the other side?
Wait, you answer Brentford.
And
Brentford team we.
Manchester United.
Okay, Grimsby, Mecca Brentford.
Wait, we are coming. We are
maybe mobile Brentford. No, no, coach Thomas Van Mooney.
Now the coach and your coach not so already.
Oh, then Brentford team we were doing.
Hey, I'm on Brentford.
I'm already bad, yo. I'm already as I give you a Jew.
You're calling on a first half. I will say 1-0 because you are calling. On the net team for Tiaso, Apostle. Your boss is care for now, Jim.
Kofi, Grimsby now I can tell you, I'm you, me a 40. Fourth division.
Hey,
what's Manchester United?
Where's my from? Where's you?
Football.
Grimsby and Brentford, Newcastle and Tottenham Hotspur, Liverpool and Crystal Palace. So this weekend, Liverpool, Crystal Palace. Those are the only two unbeaten teams we're leaguing.
And you ever started leaguing? So I'm like Tiano.
I'm not more community
show. Then Crystal Palace
exactly. And on this weekend. Will Liverpool keep up their unbeaten tag? And as a Crystal Palace, then behind in the weekend, be any team, your friend of Fulham, ever born. Which back to the thing that you were saying. I said with my captain, and I'll say it again. In football, say over match now, currency need goals, but all run club. The currency is willing. This is an American not. So I was not surprised. There is an account on Twitter called Indiana Killer on your journalist or your faceless account. And the music about the show, because of football, say football fan gets emotional about some of these things. I don't fault them. Because when Indiana Killer put out that tweet, said Enzo Maresca players is arrogant. My big question was that how do you figure these things out? You know, saying a trusted source, and a catch they say Chelsea players the more full Enzo Maresca. Na two, Kopama Bonjoso say Enzo Maresca to be born on the left-hand channel. No a couple on the right hand channel. No a yina baha. A do much you are in the now he himself he believes. Say Chelsea board meaning. Now Chelsea for only Andoni Aruela and Ekasa. I don't have anything to say about whether Maresca is arrogant because me a source no. My source has not told me that. Me the about me Chelsea means every day counts for Roman Osman because he sits right behind Enzo Maresca. And on Chelsea once I sent him a text he replied me.
And I be open Chelsea trusted a bad Matt Law.
Exactly, Matt money. But Rich, a bit things I know because in the source now catch you.
Sure.
It's no problem.
And I didn't see any.
Exactly.
Say players in the
it happens every time. So it can happen.
Yeah.
My only issue is that, Rich, have we forgotten say last part, you know? Or say Andoni Areola becomes the next coach for Chelsea. Is Andoni Areola good for Bournemouth or not? He is good. Yeah. Time out, Graham Potter, every bright that got Chelsea, was he good or not?
He was.
He was good. Unai Emery, when he had been at Villarreal and the likes, was he not good? When he moved to Arsenal, what happened? The ambassador McCheney said, in the morning game, you don't just choose a successor because you know what team on the nice football they are doing well. Yeah, you will be wrong. We've seen lots of examples. Lots of managers, some of the lower teams. Now you see that David Moyes every Everton, Echo Manchester United. He never tried at the big teams until a West Ham came and then he has gone back to his Everton team. So what I'm saying is that yes, all of that can be true, but you can't just ascertain and say Andoni Areola will be a better coach than Enzo Maresca just because of Onsema Okeka. That's I can argue it all day because I don't think that is factual in that regard. There may be a whole lot of issues on him. Rich, and now I can't say natural. Maresca needs to change a few things on the team in him. And only say this weekend Chelsea bought Brighton. Send your Liverpool about Crystal Palace. So my eyes can say, son, you may be on the team, Rich. And this thing that we keep on saying about, say, the Premier League teams, any managers, no, almost here and there, and they find solutions to their opponents. So it is very true, Rich. And you must name count. And then I'm a catcher. And I'll get time today to expand it slightly more for you. Say, Enzo Maresca born with an inverted fullback. The inverted fullback no born, or for two things. Up at the idea you find in the box midfield. It inverted number be set in China. Then he pushes one other midfielder into a box midfield. Usually it is Marco Correa. Any Abante friend Moises Caicedo. Then there is over here Cole Palmer. Then on the Abante friend Enzo Fernandez. Ababekano. No one box midfield. Box midfield no man at the idea for the +1. Say the man Fiifi you want to know. Usually we say normal formation a 4-2-3-1 and that's a 4-3-3. It is a woman Fiifi 2 Onya +2 crown Fiifi you want you players they don't say what you know Fiifi. So we go 4-3-3 Onya +1. And Maresca Nhyira say ball here done. So we bet me share it is the control of the midfield. But what a lot of teams are now realizing about Enzo Maresca and say, Rich, say almost 4-2-3-2-5 no. Now Benya box midfield 4 no I say the teams are realizing say so only Chelsea Babishia. Almost in a 5-4-1 press. Into 5 no we actually 5. So last line of 5 ne Baba be attacking her. He deals with those numbers there. Then all midfield 4 no or some sort of 4 and 5 you want them. You cannot have the numerical advantage. It is pressing and no pressing. And once you begin to lose confidence in him, and in the first time against Brentford, that's what happened. Until say Maresca se san in Sano. Rich, only Maresca here second half. Second half was a Sakobo a 4-2-2. But inside 4-2-2, it's a variation of it called the 2-2-4. When you say, send it around. We 4 now with the pressing. Obedi can be 2 action one in 5 years. Now the last line, when you're 2 in the half space, then he's finding those in the half space. Which Brentford AAB, we see all Grisby AAB, Manchester United AAB, Bayern Munich AAB. So Maresca needs to be tweaking a few things. He needs to be changing some of these things. And yes, sir, Rich, you are going to play against Brighton and Hove Albion. It is Fabian Hezela you are talking about. And they also played in the Carabao Cup. They were very, very successful. For me, I don't see a problem ever on them, in my opinion.
Okay.
I don't think that there is any problem at all in terms of English Premier League. Now, what was our table away from the Athletic? I would say alternative Premier League table, match with 6. 2025-2026 Premier League standings, plus each side's reliance on long passes as a proportion of the overall distribution. And make us a which and now Pep Guardiola a press conference. Pep Guardiola say Abrana OG leaks no. Now Obia say the ball near boring.
Ono kwa na ebo.
Ball no power. It is sisi ano wate. And unti na washa sisi ano Pep Guardiola embo wingers on the opposite side to be. Oboje Midoku on left to be direct. And he said it in the sense, who say why you maybe on maybe that is the reason. And it is clear over here. Teams are almost said that more long goals, baby. Obviously, it was Man City, Chelsea, Nottingham Forest, Arsenal, and Liverpool. Pep says that he wants to marry all of that to be able to successful our games now all boarding. And now Abantia and Opeya, Abantia friend William Saliba, it's official. We're signing the contract extension. What it means that Madrid will not be able to get Abantia friend William Saliba as their player. William is going to stay on at Football Club Arsenal. Which I would have been very worried for Arsenal if they lost William Saliba. Not just because of William Saliba as a player. Who say, oh yeah, personality big one for Arsenal. Unya Lucina, who project now was sharing with major trophy. Then people begin to ask questions of it. Keeping William Saliba is very important for Arsenal, especially when you've added a bench friend Christian Mosquera to the squad. I think that is the roundup. And at Thursday, we don't have too much, but then there are games, Europa League, Guinea, and then you have my coach, which are coach in the boy.
Yeah, I mean,
coach.
Baby, but before I do coach in about 2 January, we made there. me Chelsea but me advise to and some never do mere speculations but on Kofi Enzo Maresca no I mean say me no name say your coaches na sebi on short term asem no on shana tade o kan no say de ayese ka asem na onye diplomatic and all the players on person name no say issues are internal na coach ko tena ba ebi kura ebusa no bibia ba a player ne perform no aka no boom players on pesa enti yes in some na ebobo ba na speculations but Kofi said the ana de bi etaka no ube kombe no na bia truth bi o baby kakra ai bi kura fe na asase a ebobo no de ba you guys should do something about it.
But
I say between us project no.
Oh, me I don't think there's been.
That's my candid opinion.
Yeah, I get that, and I think that is very important part to point out. But Rich, I don't think there has been a Chelsea manager in recent times that were protective players than this. Last season, which is what heavy. Chelsea fans any message they don't catch you. I'm saying Maresca pampa players now. He said it. Oh yes. Now referee see your boss is in you know. Oh, I'm from Anu seeing nice. Whoever see a boss is in you know. Maresca Kokot now post-match press conference. Oh, Nottingham Forest. A catcher journalist FF Orefi. He told them. Omubisa Maresca said then. Osina wakua my boys. The boys need su our dressing room. And he had told them say see we are. Obe catcher journalists want to say fuck off. Maresca said okay. So okay. I mean sometimes I think he has protected them. So if me coach no entuja na enra me confo from mo person mu chano. Omo Kofi kesi no mo nko twa bi na omo nya kakra fantom because na Thursday say boys in yes kakra nkofo be bra miss out Mr. don't miss out especially on radio so codes no BW13F88CD and the first one no one next one BW13F7761B third one BW13F76D70. Fourth one BW13F72A41 and the last one BW13F71819. Rich Medasi.
Kofi menso medase etie for yemrefie na